Alright, this is operations with radical expressions. And so what you want to think about when you're doing this is the same rules that we've been using on other lessons apply here. So for instance, when I'm doing addition, I need to find things that are like terms. So to be like terms, they have to have the exact same radical. And so this is 3 radical 5 and 6 radical 5. So if we think about this, if I think we had 3x plus 6x, they're like terms, so all I do is add the coefficient and I get 9x. That's the same thing here. So I have 9 radical 5. They're like terms, adding and subtracting coefficients. Okay, same thing here. Here's another example. But I could put this as x minus 6 radical 7. You have to understand that this is 1 radical 7. You're not going to see a 1, but you can see the radical. It's here. It's not 0. It's 1. So just like this, and I wrote that wrong, would be negative 5x. This would be negative 5 radical 7. So then I want to look at multiplication. Okay, so when you multiply, there's a property that you should realize. You should be able to look at this and say the square root of 4 times the square root of 4, the answer is 4. But if you're not sure, and let's look at the process. So if I'm doing this, you can multiply anything, as long as they don't have to be like terms. That's the square root of 16, because 4 times 4. And then the square root of 16 is 4. But hopefully you know that by definition, the square root of something multiplied by the square root of the same thing is going to be that number. Okay, here's something that I can go ahead and solve because you know the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So lots of ways to think about it. Okay, here's another one. So we follow the same rules as we had before. We're going to do distributive property. 5 times 6 is 30. Radical 30. Minus 30 radical 9. So again, I'm multiplying my coefficients, and I'm also multiplying what's in the radical. Now I need to simplify as much as I can. So I know this one's easy to simplify because the square root of 9 is 3. So I'm going to have to multiply that by 3. Hopefully you remember from the last example, when you do square root of 3 times the square root of that same number, it's going to be that number. So I'm going to have minus 90 over here. Here I need to simplify this 30 if I can. So I'm going to think 30 is 3 times 2 times 5 because that's 10 and that's 3. And these are all prime numbers, so I've factored it completely. And there's nothing. There's no pairs, so I'm done.